The modern car world has changed a lot because of YouTube, Instagram, and other social media platforms. In the past, car builders and racers stayed mostly in garages, workshops, or professional racing teams. Now, one video can turn a normal builder into a global name overnight. People like Emelia Hartford represent this new era, where creativity, engineering, and entertainment all mix together in one online identity. On the surface, it looks like a dream life filled with fast cars, brand deals, and millions of views. Many fans see polished videos, loud engines, and exciting race clips, and they assume it is all fun and success without struggle. But behind this exciting image, there is another side that is rarely shown. Internet fame brings pressure, constant judgment, and emotional stress that can slowly build up over time. Every project becomes public, every failure becomes content, and every success creates even higher expectations. Unlike traditional careers, there is no private space to make mistakes and learn quietly. Everything is shared with millions of viewers who all have opinions. This creates a world where success and stress exist side by side. The more popular a creator becomes, the harder it is to maintain balance between personal life and public image. What looks like freedom from the outside can actually feel like constant pressure from the inside, especially when the audience expects perfection all the time. The rise of automotive influencers did not happen overnight. It came from years of passion, experimentation, and sharing progress online. Many creators started with simple car projects in their own garages, filming basic repairs or upgrades with limited tools. Over time, viewers became interested not only in the cars, but also in the personalities behind them. In the case of creators like Emelia Hartford, her journey shows how skill and storytelling can combine to build a strong audience. She began by working on cars, learning as she went, and sharing both successes and failures with viewers. This honesty helped her stand out in a crowded space where many people only show perfect results. As her audience grew, opportunities also grew. Brand collaborations, professional racing projects, and media appearances followed. What started as a hobby slowly turned into a full-time career. But with growth comes responsibility. Once a creator reaches a certain level of attention, their life becomes part of a larger public story. People no longer just watch the cars. They watch the person, their choices, and even their personality. This shift changes everything. A simple car build is no longer just a project. It becomes a public event with expectations attached. Each new video must be bigger, faster, or more exciting than the last. This creates a cycle where success keeps raising the bar, making it harder to slow down or take breaks without losing audience interest. As success increases, so does pressure. Many automotive creators face a constant need to stay relevant in a fast-moving digital world. Algorithms on platforms like YouTube often reward consistency and high engagement, which means creators feel forced to upload regularly. Even when projects are not ready, this can turn passion into pressure. A broken engine is no longer just a mechanical failure. It becomes a delay in content. A delayed project can mean lower views, reduced income, and audience frustration. This creates a unique kind of stress that traditional car builders may not experience. Instead of working at their own pace, influencers often work under public deadlines. For someone like Emelia Hartford, who builds high-performance cars and pushes engineering limits, the pressure becomes even stronger. Every new build must outperform the last one, or it risks being seen as a step backward. This expectation is not only internal, but also comes from viewers who constantly compare past achievements with current progress. Even when creators try to take a break, they often feel guilty or worried about losing momentum. In this way, success becomes a double-edged sword. It opens doors opportunities, but also locks creators into a cycle of constant performance. Over time, this can affect motivation, creativity, and even personal well-being, making the dream career feel more like a never-ending race. The emotional cost of internet fame is often hidden behind edited videos and highlight clips. Viewers see finished builds, race results, and exciting moments, but they rarely see the stress, frustration, or exhaustion that happens behind the scenes. For creators in the automotive space, this gap between reality and perception can be very large. When a project goes wrong, it is not just a private disappointment. It becomes a public moment that thousands or even millions of people can comment on. Some viewers are supportive, but others can be critical or even harsh. This constant exposure can create emotional strain over time. Every mistake is analyzed, every delay is questioned, and every decision is debated online. For creators like Emelia Hartford, who built her brand by being open and authentic, this transparency can sometimes increase pressure instead of reducing it. When you share real moments, people feel closer to you, but they also feel more entitled to judge your life. This can blur the line between public content and private experience. Over time, creators may start feeling like they are always on stage, even when they're not filming. This feeling of being watched constantly can affect mental focus and emotional energy. While internet fame brings opportunities, it also creates a level of visibility that is difficult to escape, especially when your career depends on staying active and engaged with your audience. Personal history also plays a role in shaping how creators handle pressure. Many people in the automotive world are open about how cars became more than just machines for them. They became a way to cope with life challenges, build confidence, or find direction. In some cases, difficult experiences from the past can fuel ambition and creativity. For Emelia Hartford, she has publicly shared parts of her personal journey, including experiences with loss and how cars became a source of focus and strength during difficult times. This type of background often adds emotional depth to a creator's work because their passion is connected to something meaningful beyond entertainment. However, it also means that their story becomes part of public discussion. When audiences know personal details, they sometimes interpret every action through that lens, even when it is not relevant. This can create misunderstandings or oversimplified narratives about a person's life. While sharing personal stories can inspire others and build connections, it can also make privacy more difficult to maintain. The internet often takes complex human experiences and turns them into simple headlines or comments, which can remove important context. This is one of the hidden challenges of being a public figure in the digital age. Your personal story becomes part of your public identity, whether you want it to or not. Another major challenge comes from the nature of car building itself. High-performance automotive projects are expensive, complex, and unpredictable. Engines can fail, parts can break, and timelines can change without warning. For influencers, these normal mechanical problems become public events. A blown engine is not just a setback. It is content that thousands of people will react to immediately. This creates a situation where failure is not hidden but displayed. While this can be educational and entertaining for viewers, it also adds pressure on creators to recover quickly and come back stronger. The business side of content creation makes this even more intense. Sponsors, partnerships, and audience expectations often depend on consistent output. When a project stalls, it can affect more than just one video. It can impact income and future opportunities. This is why many automotive creators push their builds to extreme limits, testing both machines and themselves. But pushing too hard also increases risk. It becomes a balance between entertainment, engineering, and safety. Over time, this cycle can make the job feel less like a hobby and more like a high-stakes production schedule. Even passion projects begin to feel like deadlines, and creativity must compete with performance expectations. Finally, internet culture itself plays a huge role in shaping the experience of automotive influencers. Social media thrives on engagement, discussion, and sometimes controversy. When creators collaborate, audiences build expectations about relationships and partnerships. If those collaborations change or stop, people often create their own stories to explain what happened. This leads to rumors, assumptions, and misunderstandings. In many cases, the truth is simple. People move on, schedules change, or creative directions shift. But online audiences often prefer dramatic explanations. This is part of a larger pattern, where creators are not only judged for their work, but also for their relationships and decisions. Over time, this can create frustration for influencers who feel misunderstood or misrepresented. It also shows how quickly narratives can form without evidence. A small gap in content can turn into speculation, and speculation can turn into rumors that spread widely. This environment makes it difficult for creators to control their own stories. In the end, the dark side of internet fame is not just about pressure or work. It is about losing control over how your life is seen and interpreted by others. Another important part of the story is how creators try to survive inside this high-pressure world. Over time, Many automotive influencers learn that success on the internet is not only about skill with cars, but also about mental strength and boundaries. When your work, hobbies, and personal life all exist in the same public space, it becomes very easy to lose balance. Some creators try to solve this by taking breaks, but even breaks can feel stressful because they might lead to lost views or fading attention. Others try to bring more structure into their lives by separating filming days from personal days. But this is not always easy when a project car suddenly breaks or a brand opportunity appears without warning. In the case of creators like Emelia Hartford, the challenge is even bigger because her work includes high-performance builds, racing, and media appearances, all of which demand time and energy at a very high level. To manage this, many creators rely on small support systems, such as close friends, team members, or fellow builders who understand the pressure of the industry. These relationships become very important because they provide a sense of normal life outside the camera. At the same time, some creators also become more careful about what they share online, choosing to keep certain parts of their life private to protect their mental health. However, even with these strategies, the internet never fully slows down. Comments, opinions, and discussions continue every day, whether the creator is active or not. This is why long-term success in this space is not just about building fast cars or creating viral videos. It is about learning how to manage attention without losing yourself in the process. The automotive content world continues to grow, and with it, the expectations also grow. Audiences want bigger projects, faster cars, and more dramatic stories. But behind all of that, creators are still human beings dealing with real emotions, real pressure, and real challenges. The future of this space will likely depend on whether both creators and audiences can find a healthier balance between entertainment and empathy. In today's online world, internet fame looks exciting from the outside, but often comes with a hidden weight that most people do not see. Creators who build their careers on platforms like YouTube or Instagram are often seen as lucky, successful, and free. They appear to live dream lives where they get to work on passion projects, earn money doing what they love, and connect with large audiences. But behind that surface, there's a constant pressure to keep producing, keep improving, and keep entertaining. One example often discussed in this space is Emelia Hartford, a car builder, driver, and content creator who became widely known through her high-performance automotive projects. Her story is often shared as a success story, but it also shows how complicated internet fame can become when personal life, business, and audience expectations all mix together. In her world, cars are not just machines. They are content, identity, and responsibility all at once. Every project she shares is not only a personal achievement, but also something that thousands or even millions of viewers are waiting to see succeed or fail. This changes the meaning of creativity. Instead of building freely, every step becomes part of a public timeline. When people watch on the outside, they often see only the exciting moments, the powerful engines, the fast race runs, and the finished builds. But what they do not always see are the long hours of problem solving, the financial pressure of large builds, and the emotional stress of being watched so closely. Over time, this creates a situation where success does not bring rest. Instead, it brings expectations for even bigger success. This is a starting point of what many internet creators experience, where passion slowly turns into pressure without them even noticing it happening as Emelia Hartford's audience grew. So did the expectations placed on her work. Automotive content is a very competitive space because viewers are constantly comparing builds, horsepower numbers, and performance results. In this environment, a project car is never just done. It is always measured against the next fastest, the next louder, or the next more extreme build. For someone like Emelia, who gained attention through high-performance projects, this creates a cycle where each new build has to either match or exceed the last one. What begins as a fun engineering challenge can slowly turn into a race against time, money, and audience expectations. On the internet, attention is also very fast-moving. A video might trend for a few days or weeks, but then it gets replaced by something newer. Because of this, creators often feel like they cannot slow down for too long. If they pause, the audience may move on. If they repeat ideas, people may lose interest. So the pressure is not just about building fast cars, but also about building at a pace that keeps attention alive. This is where the business side of content creation becomes very real. Sponsorships, brand deals, and algorithm performance all depend on staying visible. In Emelia's case, her project became bigger and more complex over time, which naturally increased the workload and stress behind the scenes. What viewers see as an exciting upgrade is often a result of long planning, technical risk, and problem-solving under deadlines. And while the audience enjoys the final result, they rarely see the uncertainty that happens during the build itself, when nothing is guaranteed to work until the very end. Another major factor in internet fame is how quickly stories spread, especially when emotions are involved. In Emelia Hartford's case, much of her content is built around real experiences, including challenges, failures, and personal moments. This honesty helps build trust with viewers, but also creates a situation where everything becomes open to interpretation. When a creator shares both success and struggle, audiences sometimes begin to read too deeply into small changes in behavior or tone. If a video feels different, people assume something is wrong. If a project takes longer than expected, viewers start creating theories. This happens because the internet does not like uncertainty. People want clear explanations, even when none are available. Over time, this leads to rumors forming around normal situations. A delayed upload becomes a problem behind the scenes. A collaboration that stops becomes a falling out. Even silence can turn into a story. For creators, this can be mentally exhausting because they are not just managing their work, but also managing public interpretation of their work. In Emelia's case, her projects are highly technical and often involve testing, failures, and redesigns. These are normal parts of engineering, but online they can look like setbacks or drama. This gap between reality and perception becomes one of the hardest parts of internet fame. It means that even when nothing is wrong, something can still be assumed to be wrong. And once a narrative forms online, it often continues even without evidence, because repeating a story is easier than correcting it. Mental health is another important part of this discussion, especially when creators share personal history along with their work. Emelia Hartford has openly spoken about experiencing deep personal loss at a young age, including the suicide of her father. For many people, such experiences shape how they connect with their passions and how